Hey, this is George,
Hey, this is Frazier.
and this is Real Talk with George and Frazier. What's going on, Frazier? How you doing?
Not much, man. Good day, good show. Got
Yeah,
good show.
whenever you rub your hands, it reminds me of money, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's fun.
Hey, nighttime, baby.
I can definitely dig it. Yeah, we got a great show. We've been really hitting them out of the park when it comes to shows and some of the topics that we've had of lately, man. And this show too is going to be a banger. And
Yeah,
we
man.
have a band constructor, musician. I mean, yo, just doing it. And this is apt because we're going into the holidays, so we have a lot of concerts, and we like to support our people and people that are on their grind. So we have a very special guest today, Mr. Jay Howard. And
Yeah.
Jay, was welcome to Real Talk.
How you
Appreciate
doing, brother?
it. Man, I'm good. How you doing?
Doing
Good,
pretty
good,
good.
good.
Pretty good. Thank you. Tell the fans and the listeners, a little bit about your bio. I say this every show. When Frazier and I try to do it, we butcher it. So we just
Yeah.
let our guests just go right through and tell them about themselves.
Jalen Howard from Peoria, Illinois. I'm 20 years old. I'm a musician now. At first, I was at college soccer, playing soccer and majoring in criminal justice. And I found like a different calling for me. I just felt like school really wasn't my thing. So then I started pursuing music. Play 11 instruments. I'm self-taught and play by ear for all of them. And the reason why like I'm like super big now is because of an app called TikTok. And during this whole quarantine and COVID thing, that's really what like got me big. Just everyone staying inside because they couldn't do anything, and I just was like, I should definitely like share my music to the world and share my talents, and just got big off of that. And so here we are now.
So
Yeah.
you're social media famous then.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Hey, look, that works.
Hey, it works now,
You're
man.
laying around and you decided. So 11 instruments. How many instruments did Prince play? Do you remember?
27.
27. So you got a little catching up to do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got-
Okay, but let me get to it. When it comes to that, how hard is it? Are like all the instruments grouped together that you play, like piano and this, or is it guitar and then you move on to bass? Is it flute and then you can move on to recorder, or you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
those instruments? Because even though they're separate,
Yeah.
they're still a separate instrument.
So just growing up, I was raised in the church, so I was always around like that Motown funk and gospel, and just hearing those instruments all together, it was just something that was like really pleasing to my ear. And so I literally just the summer before kindergarten was the first time I ever picked up an instrument, and that was the piano. And I heard a song called Heart and Soul, and literally just played it by ear. And just over the years, and through middle school and high school, I just started picking up random instruments and just listening to other people play, and then figuring it out, and then expanding on my musical imagination, just going from there. But definitely, it's a few of the instruments are different, from like the organ to the saxophone. Those are two completely different instruments, but they all like come in to play at one, whether it's just like coming up with something like with the melody or just the chords. So they all are different, but then again, kind of the same. So
Okay. No, see, I got one for you. Don't want band. If I play with ears, to play with ear by ear too, so I know. So let me ask a question though. Do you find it hard sometimes when somebody wants to book you, but they want you to read by sheet music versus you play by ear? You have a problem with that sometimes, or?
yeah, some people would like you to read music. That's just like how it is in the professional world. But a lot of people do like that I can play by ear, because that's not like that's like a rare thing to do. Just being able to listen to it and then just play it. So it's 50-50, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
So
So
that's a unique talent. It's almost like
yeah,
style rappers. A lot of people say when you stop writing things down and you can come off the top of the head, your talent and your skill level goes up 100% because you're not bound by the pen or the pad. How Aretha Franklin got through it was her sister used to key her on certain things because she didn't read sheet music either.
Mhm.
So her sister used to give her the tone and the key that she had to be in order to play those whole things through when she was singing. And look, you're still young. There's apps that you can use to read sheet music. It's not
exactly.
necessarily that you have to do it, especially with technology. But to get to maybe to some of those bigger things like conducting, maybe a Star Wars soundtrack, it must
Yeah.
be required. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
right now, where you are, I mean, you're 20 years old. You're going to live forever, basically, and everything that you're doing. And you're young. to be able to know this, make your mistakes, and also grow from your mistakes in the way that you're doing it. Let me ask you, what was the hardest instrument that you had to pick up and learn?
I would say the organ, just because you're doing two things at once, with your feet on the bass pedal, and then you're playing with the keys and then the drawbars. So really three things at once, and like just keeping the tempo of that. I'd say that one definitely gave me the hardest challenge, but it's definitely fun playing at church with it.
All right. So what's the instrument you like to play the best?
Guitar, easily, for sure. Yeah.
I figured out. We should have pictures. All the pictures of guitar.
All right. So Mariah asks us, who's your biggest musical influence?
John Mayer is my biggest influence with music, just because he has a song called Gravity. That song has a really like a deep meaning with it. It talks about like gravity, talking about things in life bringing you down. And it's just like, stay away from me. And I use that as my life song because my mother passed away when I was 2 months old. And then my father passed away the first day of junior year. And so that song made me not commit suicide and like made me realize that there's light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel, you just have to keep going and keep pushing and just pick yourself back up, because at the end of the day, like nobody's going to do that but yourself. So I just try to use that song Gravity, and like I just try to be a blueprint to people who's going through like depression and suicidal thoughts, and just let them know like there's light at the end of the tunnel and you just have to keep going and pushing.
I'm glad you mentioned that because over the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of guests on that have talked about their struggles with depression and suicide attempt. And it just seemed like this is a theme. I'm saying that because ironically, today I saw on the news where they were talking about, mental health and the condition of where we are in the country, simply because some of us may not be able to go home for Thanksgiving or have family members in. And then we're dealing with this uptick in COVID and everything looking like it's getting locked down again. So there's a high stress and anxiety level where we're at now. And, they were saying that people can slip into depression. Before we get to Anaya's question, I just wanted to ask you. So that's your relief, music, putting your emotions into music and being able to pick up one and help one through your music. What other influences have you found out that you're good at to be able to reach out and touch somebody with?
Just simply being there for someone. A lot of people tell me like when they first talk to me, it's really easy to talk to me and just get to know me. And that's something that I really am proud of, because you just never know what anybody's going through. And it's just always easier to be nice to people. So just always trying to have a good spirit and be there for people when they need it, because I know I needed some people when I was down in the dumps. And so just being there for people is something that a lot of people need. And so I just try to be that source for them.
And I asked, how long have you been playing guitar?
2 years.
2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, really quick, I wanted to just follow up on my question, Frazier. I know you have a question.
Okay.
What do you use now to stop you from going to that dark place? Is it just a song? Is it a lyric that you have? Is it a guitar lick that you hear and go, oh, wait, hold on? You know what I mean? That keeps me focused. Because as parents, Frazier and I, it's our kids that snap us back into reality. No matter how bad our day is, at least my day,
Exactly.
as long as my daughter tells me it's going to be all right, I guarantee you everything will be all right from that particular point on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very young. I don't think you have any kids yet, but you have that to look forward to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what is it that brings you back? Is it that guitar lick? Is it a lyric that you write? What is it?
The lyric I think about that gets me back into it is in the song Gravity, and it says, keep me where the light is. And I actually have it tattooed on me right here with John Mayer's guitar tattooed on me as well, the guitar that wrote Gravity. And so whenever I just am feeling down or something, I'll just look at my arm and just remember everything that's happened to me and just everything that happens to me and my siblings actually, and just remember that like we have each other. And so they keep me going, and my grandparents keep me going as well.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's nice. And my same is, I got a question for you too. Like when I play instruments, I always had a person that inspired me to play that. I play saxophone. Everybody love Kenny G. I love Kenny G. I love.
Oh yeah.
I love doing those. And like each he plays so many. I play like I say drums, everything. But each person had inspired me to play that instrument. Like all the instruments you play, there's somebody particular that inspire you to play those instruments that wanted you to say, no, I want to play that saxophone. Oh, I don't want to play this. I don't want to play it because he played it.
Nah, not really. The one thing I can say was the guitar was John Mayer. The trumpet was actually from the movie Princess and the Frog when I was in 5th grade. Um, and the piano. No, that was my movie. I'm not gonna lie. And then the piano, I seen my cousin when we were like on a Florida trip back in like 2008, I think it was, and I heard her play, and I was like, okay, I want to play the piano, and that was my first instrument. So a few people have definitely influenced my playing, but other instruments, I'm just like, I want to learn that. So I just taught myself.
No, I mean I'm giggling because the Princess and the Frog. My niece wore that DVD out. I always every song from it, from that whole thing. So that's why I was giggling when you said it, because that particular DVD and digital download now and everything else we've kept from my daughter. I can't go through that again. Shema asked, from Love from Switzerland, what's been your favorite part of your journey to internet fame?
Yeah, my favorite part is just getting to connect with people all over the world from TikTok. Like I do lives every day just because I tried to build a safe place for people who's going through like anxiety and depression, and they can just sit and listen to me play and sing. So just getting to know who they are on like a one-on-one basis and just meeting friends like all over the world is definitely the best part about it.
Nice.
So I got for you. If there's one person you can do a duet with, who would it be?
John Mayer, easily.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So back to music. Are you just doing little sets right now on TikTok, or do you have albums and songs in place? And we've had record producers on, we've had independent owners on. Are you looking at distributing your music, or how are you distributing your music? Is it just through social media, or are you with DistroKid?
Mm-hmm.
What's your future now for the next 24 to 48 months? Because Frazier and I are both business people, real estate, multiple businesses, coaching, and things of that nature. I just like to always pick people's brains when it comes to new ventures and new business ideals, because planning is 99% of the journey. Execution is only 1%. And with the skill set and talent that you have, you should be thinking about that, if you haven't already.
Exactly.
So I do use DistroKid as a music distributor. I have actually have a EP out and then a single out. They're all just me and my guitars. The EP is called Carried Away because I got carried away in my bedroom with just my guitar and just played songs. And then the other one I made for my best friend who recently passed away a few months ago in a car accident. And that song is called Dude Dylan. And so I made that song for him. And I do have more music coming out in December with another EP called Blooming. And I named it that because since my career is blooming and getting bigger, I just thought that was a good name for it, for the journey. So
nice.
Gemma asked really quick, what's the most rewarding part of what you do? What's the most rewarding part of what you do?
Getting to see people just listen to my music and just literally getting to know them, like just not as fans, but like, as friends, those fans turn into friends, and just knowing that they keep coming back to my lives and then building that relationship with me means just like I'm doing something right. So that's definitely the most rewarding part for me.
Nice.
Oh, so let me ask a question though. So when you sit in the room writing, do you do like Michael Jackson used certain things in life to write about certain things? Like, do you a lot of influence based on life or other people's life, or you just basically write to inspire different people, like kids or someone who wants to be in the music industry like yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to write for the people who are like need inspiration. A lot of people, like a lot of musicians, just try to write on what they want the people to hear, like what they know they want to hear. But I like to write about what I want to hear, because no matter what I write, I know that's going to find someone to inspire them to do their own thing. So I just try to be not so mainstream when it comes to the lyrics, and just stay true to myself and just write what I want to write.
And so during your writing process, when we listen to your music, what's your genre of music? What do you consider yourself?
Man, everything, honestly. To blues. I fell in love with the blues when I first picked up the guitar, listening to B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Albert King. and then just living with my grandparents as well. So I grew up on the Teddy Pendergrass and Al Green. So just, I would say like everything when it comes to the genre of music. So
And Gemini asked, does creating music help you heal?
yes, absolutely. Just being able to write my feelings on a piece of paper and then finding out what sounds good with that and just letting it all out, because you shouldn't let hold everything in. You know, you need to find a way to let that out, whether it's music, kickboxing, exercising, or just simply reading or walking, you know. So that's what writing down lyrics just definitely makes me feel a lot better.
Okay.
Nice.
So back to that. So you only have three, right? You only have three pieces of music, or you have 3 albums coming out. I know you have an EP, a single. You said you're working on something else. Are we going to get a whole album, or are we just going to get bits and pieces?
Right now, it's just going to be an EP with me singing on it. A lot of people want to hear me sing on that, so I'm going to be singing on it. It's going to be about 5 to 6 songs, hopefully out in December. But then hopefully next year when I get bigger, I'll try to release like a full length album. So that's the goal.
Take your time with it. Believe it or not, we just met a production company and they do tour promotions. We just had her on the show. So
That's it.
if you need a hookup, you get on the road, man. Let us know. We'll put you two in contact, because that's what it's about, you know. With that wisdom that she has, you know, she will definitely be able to take care of you and make sure that you get to where you need to go. You know, with music, I know a lot of times, and Frazier can tell you that you don't have to rush the process, because a lot of that stuff is organic.
Exactly.
You can go on this road, you know, and have a 15-20 minute set with 5 or 6 songs plus, you know, whatever other songs you want to improvise in, you know, a remix, a cut. That's how they did it in the 90s. It was so successful with the samples and all the songs that came out. You might have been a little bit too young in the 90s to understand that. But Frazier, everything from Bad Boy to you name it. That's how they did it, you know?
Oh, definitely. I see you got questions there. Got some questions down there.
Yes. Dana asked, do you think having no set genre makes the writing process more difficult? Sorry.
No, because I get inspiration from different genres and I can just mix it all in one. So honestly, I think having being more multi-genre definitely helps, because you know you won't be stuck in one box, and you can throw like different things or little like guitar licks into something else that like you wouldn't even think about. So I think definitely having being a multi-genre artist definitely helps with the writing process.
Nice.
So let me ask a question though. When you first did your first show, were you scared? Did a butterfly really hit you? You like just I'm going to let it rip.
It was definitely nerve-wracking at first. Definitely nervous. But then once I got on there, all of my nerves just calmed down, and the first strum came off, and it was just uphill from there. I felt like I was really at home, and like I was just really at my safe space, and just being on stage, like no other feeling comes close to that. So definitely it was nervous, a lot of nerves at first, but once I like got to the used to it, it was just home, second nature to me.
Okay.
And what's some wisdom that you're learning, you know, in your shows? You know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of brothers and sisters try to pick up the young kids and impart wisdom into them. You know, we used to hear about some artists when they renew, older artists should be like, you know, make sure your paperwork is right, and make sure this happens in your career. You know, what are some of the words of wisdom that you're getting from other artists you're performing with, and artists that are in the industry?
Yeah, so people will always tell me like you're super young, you have the talent. Like don't let the music industry like mess with your head, because they're going to try to do that. You know, just stay true to yourself. And like since I'm super young, I have time, a lot of it. And so just find who I am and find what I want to say and find my sound, and everything will be all good. And that's something that a lot of people actually told me. And so I just try to keep that and just try to keep my head on and like not try to get too cocky with it, and just always be humble, because I know my music ability can be taken away from me at any given moment. So I just try to keep that in my head and just remind myself of that every day.
So is it instrumental? Let me, you know, is it instrumental when you say trying to find your sound, and you're super young and new to it. Because I know people like Prince and Tupac, they wrote a song a day, you know what I mean, and just didn't do anything with it. It was just something that then with the head that they had to get out. You know, are you just sitting in a room and just playing with chords and keys and seeing what sounds good in your head? Is it a whistling process? Is it a humming process while you're, throwing the licks? How does that work for you?
It's actually all of those in the writing process. I use like I'll throw on a loop progression and then I'll like hum over it and record it and find where that's at on the guitar, or just listen to it and then just play it. Whether in like terms of instrumental, like I like to vibe. I like that vibe and chill. So I just play with chord progressions, see what sounds good with that, and then I'll usually like just think overnight about the lyrics, and then the next morning just go on a drive and then just look at nature and then just record on my voicemail or on my voice memos and just hum and find that melody and that harmony. And then when I get back home, then that's when I build off of it.
It's nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
I use the same process when I was writing my books. Using my voice memos. I use dictation.
Mm-hmm.
People always ask, well, sometimes how'd you get the book done so fast? Because I did it by dictation. You know what I mean? And that's just a great tool. I'm glad that technology is working on both sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Frazier.
so let me ask a question. What is your favorite chord?
Oh, favorite
There we
chord?
go. Gotcha. There you go.
I think my favorite chord would be an E major 9.
Oh, yeah. See, I can't mess with that one. You got me on that one. I was just learning the E, okay? I was just learning the E, okay?
He did put something on it. He said E major 9. Right? You know what I mean? Right. Look at him.
Oh man, too much fun. So let me ask one thing though. Are the other instruments besides the guitar? I play saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
So like the other instrument you want to learn in the future that you still like you line them listen to and learn later on, like maybe a baritone sax or maybe a French horn, some flutes.
Definitely the violin. I would love to teach myself the violin. That's just because it's really a classical instrument, and it just sounds beautiful. Like when you play, it just sounds absolutely beautiful. So.
Yeah, that is true. A violin is nice.
So when are you going to roll into YouTube University to learn how to play the violin? They got videos for it. You know?
Soon, I definitely will. Get one.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you know everything on YouTube, man.
Yeah, about it.
Things on YouTube.
YouTube has saved me thousands of dollars. When I say thousands of dollars, definitely has.
Money.
Yeah, definitely all good. So, what do you really want your fans to take away now as you starting your journey and getting into your process? Because sometimes it can be a physical journey. Sometimes a lot of artists see it as a spiritual journey. I know when I was writing my books, it was more of a release, a creative release that I had to get out because some of my books were 15 years old that I never finished. You know what I mean? And it was just like when I got done, I was able to exhale and go, it's all out. Like everything that was, 20, 30 years old is out now. And now all this new stuff that I'm learning, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Creative juices now start flowing again. And I got to do a part 2 to this because that was just the beginning. But all that stuff that was in my mind, it was just like, dude, like,
yeah.
What are you doing right now to empty your slate and
just constantly pushing out music, no matter if it's good or bad. Sometimes I'll just go in my notes on my laptop and write like 2 to 3 pages of literally just what I'm thinking. And whether it's just something I even want to sing or like find lyrics to, I'm just letting it all out. So I just don't trap it inside. And then I'll go back to it and like, oh, that's a pretty good lyric. I'll like highlight it and then put it somewhere else and then build a song off of that. So usually a lot of my songs that I have now are just thoughts in my mind, just letting them out on a piece of paper and then finding what sounds good with it. And I think the message I want people to take from me, like my music career, is a lot of stuff is mental, like just with me and my siblings having both of our parents pass away at a super young age, definitely messes with the mind of a young person, because like it changes their outlook on life. But we try, I know I try to like just push people to become a better them and try to bring the best version out of themselves. So I think that's what I want people to take from is a lot of mental, you just have to do what you have to do. Like, don't let anybody else's opinion influence what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it's your life and you're going to have to deal with those consequences that you made and not anybody else.
True.
That's true.
Mariah asked, does having a big following affect your personal life at all?
No, I try to stay true. I try to, who they get on the camera is who I am outside. I like to be energetic and goofy and like happy, and just always try to bring good love around no matter what the situation is. So I don't think I'm like changed outside of TikTok or just social media, period.
So you don't have people you don't know knocking on the door. Hey, I heard the song.
Nah.
Down. Hey, remember me? I'm your best friend.
Nah. Everybody knows I love them all, whether they're in my life or not. I love everybody, and I try to treat everybody with respect. And so.
So what's the heaviest thing that a fan has told you in your DM? Put there, your music inspired me, your music stopped me from doing this, or your music helped me do this. What's the deepest thing they've told you?
Actually, it's been a few times where I've been on TikTok live and someone's like, hey man, like I'm getting ready to end it all. Like I need a reason to stop it. And like they'll say that when I'm playing or singing, and like I'll read that comment and just stop everything that I'm doing and like make sure that they're okay, and like I won't continue to, like, I know they're fine, and I'll even check up on them after the live and like shoot them a DM like, hey, I hope you're doing well. Like if you ever need to like reach out to anybody, like I'm here, because like you're not alone. And that's the biggest thing I want people to realize and understand, like you're not alone. And if you need to go get help, like it's okay to go get help. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's definitely happened, I would say 4 or 5 times that's happened in my life, and that it just feels amazing, like knowing that I'm doing what I'm doing helps a lot of people. So it's definitely been a few times people have tried to kill themselves and I stop it. So that's really, really rewarding for me.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's heavy. You just said something here, and we just can't glaze over it because you said it 4 or 5 times. Like, just wake up. Oh, look, got a DM. I mean, no, that's not. This is life and death here. And for you to understand that and pay attention to it and potentially help is big. How do you deal with that? How do you process that? Because I know if that was me, I would probably sit in this chair right now and I wouldn't say any of it for 3 or 4 hours, because I'm just like, that's heavy on my spirit. When you told me that, you know what I mean? So you being more musically inclined than I am, I just wouldn't know how to process that. You know what I mean? Like I would just be in a void, like, holy smokes, this is real life here,
I definitely know what they're going through. So like the feelings and emotions of just like just not wanting to be here anymore, it's definitely really, really tough on your mind and soul. So when people come and tell me that, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what to do, and like I know exactly what to say, because I've been down there before. And it's tough, but you keep working on yourself. Self-love is the best love is something I say a lot to my followers, and you just got to make sure you're taking care of yourself, whether it's eating, sleeping, working out, or just finding something that you love to do. That's really, really important in order for you to like live a happy life.
True.
I don't have that point of reference to be able to, because that's never happened to me. You know what I mean? Or I've never had those feelings like you've had. So basically you're a professional at this to some form or fashion, because you can empathize with what's going on and get right to the root. I would probably be a stammering idiot, because I'm just like, wait, hold on. How do I have that much power? You see that?
Yeah.
It would blow me away. It would completely blow me away.
That is true.
Go ahead, Fred.
Go ahead, George.
No, I'm done.
No, what I was saying, like, since you know all of that, like people to reaching out to you, like when you feel you want to do it later, when you get bigger, start like an outreach to help people, like start an organization or something. Telling people to get more help and feel like they're not alone, like build a community based on your music, through your inspiration, through social media, everything, to help build a community for them to feel like they're not alone. You feel something like that? Yeah.
So I want, like, my dream goal is to build a music therapy center to help people who've been going through depression and anxiety. I know Berklee College of Music is one of the top music schools in the world, and I got to audition for them last year, but I didn't get in, and that's what I was going to major in. And I took that rejection really hard, because like that was the first time ever in my life I've been rejected from anything. And like I packed away all my guitars. I was like, I don't want to look at my guitars, I like lost inspiration. But then I just remembered like everything that I've been through, it's just led me to where I'm at in this moment. And like, I just need to use that as motivation to like make me hungrier and make me grind harder. And so just dealing with that, it definitely put a lot of like I felt like it put a chip on my shoulder because like, like that's my first rejection ever. And I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with this. So it just definitely made me grind harder. And here I am on TikTok. So
yeah, man, look, I can appreciate that, but let me put this here. You don't have to sit here and I know Berkeley's thought where you wanted to go, but they also have GoFundMe pages. And all you got to do is put it out there that this is what you want to do. Because a lot of times we put a lot of faith in institutions, and then when we get in those institutions, they strip our ideals, they strip our creativities to put those things in boxes that they feel is suitable for them. But what makes you unique is you. Like, for instance, I've not only written books, I've worked on outlines for scripts for reality shows and everything else. And what I learned in that process was everybody wanted my reality show to be like what was on TV, and it wasn't. And some people liked the ideal so much that they stole my ideal and went to go pitch it someplace else. But I always laugh. I'm like, you know why that show didn't get picked up was because you didn't design it. You didn't start from the beginning, the middle, and the end. You only saw the ideal and the concept. You don't know how it ends. I do. So you can take the ideal, but you can't complete it. You know what I mean? And the same thing for you. I just want to drop this pearl in your spirit right now. You don't have to sit here and wait for Berkeley to do what you want to do. There's platforms out there that you can put yourself right front and center because you're the expert, not Berkeley, and go ahead and do it and make it done. Look, I'm not supposed to be here. I told you, Frazier and I have a relationship and been friends since real estate. Every real estate property I've ever bought in my life, they told me I was never going to buy it. Listen, you're young, so you don't understand this right now. Either had to do something with my credit, debt to income ratio, my income that I had coming in, or something all the way down the line that they were tacking to me that said, well, he's not going to be able to have the money to do this and do that. Every house I bought. Okay. This house I'm talking to you from now, they told me I was never going to buy this house because, quote unquote, there was something that I didn't have. And look now, I'm talking to you and doing this in this house. So nobody else has that kind of power or authority. I know you're young and you have to make your mistakes, but us old dogs here to tell you, nobody has that kind of power or authority over you to make that happen. You have things that we didn't have, like a GoFundMe, crowdfunding, and all these other things to put in place. We didn't have that. When we had family, that was it. A lot of families that look like us don't have 1,000, 10,000, 25,000 to invest in something. We barely have enough on a credit card. You know what I mean? So we were really only stuck in conventional ways of funding to get things happening. Or, we do it hook or crook, you know what I mean, to make sure room in the prayer. But you don't have that.
Exactly.
Your following and everything else that you're doing, you can create your own reality. And that's what I want you to understand, especially with that talent.
Exactly.
And then what will happen is Berkeley, 10 years from now, Berkeley will call you and be like, would you want to be an associate professor? We love what you do.
Exactly.
Right? And now you can come back and be like, wait, hold on. Berkeley, y'all remember me? Go back and check this application. I'm the kid that y'all said this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But I would still love to come. You want to know why? Because now Berkeley has to pay you the money that you deserve to come be that person, not the pennies that they want to give you.
Exactly.
Shine, man. Spread them wings and go.
And you moving now. Some of the greats were turned down at first. Michael Jordan was turned down. Denzel was turned down a lot of times for acting shows. I mean, you got a lot of people that will actually turn their first time and turn around and became great success stories. I mean, I grew up thinking I can do anything I want to. You couldn't tell me what I couldn't do. I was going to prove you wrong. Like somebody told me, you can't get a job paying $50,000 a year without a high school diploma. Did it. Now, can you how to be replicated? Probably not. Because they made the site happen now you can't.
Right.
But the point of it is, somebody told what you can't do, you proved it wrong. They said you couldn't get to college. I only applied to one college. Got in there, one college. So I mean, you got to use that negativity and you inspire yourself to get even better. Don't go back. Don't even dream small. Don't go to Berkeley. Make your own school. Your own school. Yeah. And when Berkeley come look at you, say, no, I'm good. But my school is not rated at the top of your school now. We're up the same way. Now you become the person who all the kids that turn no to Berkeley, you say yes to. Inspire that creativity. Now you that person to help them is, no, you saved my life again. I thought I would do the same thing. Quit music. You saved my life, you know?
Right.
Because remember, a lot of people say no to, like did you. That you can say yes to and help them out way better.
Yeah, because you know what they're going through. And I'm not saying rejection is not good. You know, it was all those no's that I took that got me to where I was going. Because like you, I was like, look, man, you know, it got so bad my wife used to cry. And I'd be like, what are you crying for? I said, we've been hearing that our whole life of what we can and can't do. And I said, just stand right now, look down at your feet, and look where we are. Because we didn't give them power to tell us what we can and can't do. I know I'm not doing that.
No.
I've been a product of no my whole life. And look where I am. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just that mindset of being able to flip it. And like I said, with your talent and your skill level and the community that you have in place, you know, you have everything else we wish we had to be able to make better platforms and better foundations for ourselves. So the sky's the limit for you when it comes.
Exactly. No, you got the great generation out there. I mean, think of the BB King, think of your Idol, think of Idol. All of them, I'm sure, you're told no at one point. You couldn't get in a music school or you couldn't get in this. But guess what? Did that stop them?
Nope.
You know, that didn't stop them at all.
Yeah, and they did it with no social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So it's definitely good. Man. We're not going to harp on that. I think Frazier and I has kind of gotten your head a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's definitely all good, man. You know, I just want to see you shine. You know, I definitely want to see you. I want to see where you can go.
The legend.
What you're going to be able to do.
That's what I'm saying right there. Right, Joy? Think about legend. I mean, think about it. You can be a legend in your own making. Just do it. Like you say, they told you no. Stay in your own wisdom and don't let people influence you not to. And I tell you, by me being used in their management, I tell you, I've seen people get eaten up and spit out by the music industry. Because they know a small part of the contract they didn't read. The producer chipped them out of their music because they didn't read the contract with the producer. All these things that play a good part. And I tell people, like I would look at Chance the Rapper. I don't want to bring him up because he did something that most people didn't do and didn't think about doing. They started his own label. He was the hardest road possible. You know, and look at him now. I'm sure he had to work hard. I'm sure if you hear his story, he probably worked hard every day, bless his mind every day, continuously. But he went through the heartaches, the suffering of saying no, because you had a lot of no's in music. I'm telling you now, you had a lot of no's. But you go to the record label and you want to pitch your album to them. Well, we got plenty of people do the exact same thing. What makes you so different from everybody else? Me. I'm different. There's nothing different from everybody else, but I'm different. I'm a different part of it. So I had to tell our artists, and a lot of them said they had rappers, same thing, with this. But I tell you, your work ethic, the ability to shine through whatever nose is. If you want to say no, he said, no problem. I have people in line waiting on me right quick. So I'm glad the interview over. Now I'm going to talk to RCA. I'm going to talk to Atlanta Records now. I appreciate your time and effort. I appreciate it. Watch how you thought they wait. Oh, Atlanta Records. RCA. What, Sony? Oh, come in and talk to you again. Come in. Let me go share the deal. And one thing music competitive is always edges. Won't you?
What you're forgetting, Praise, too, is the fact that, look, if you have a following, they'll come to you.
Exactly.
Because that means that they don't have to spend the money to get the following that you have. You have a built-in situation where people already follow you and like your music. Why do you think a lot of people who have social media followings, quote unquote, they get the deals on TV? They're the ones that get this and they're the ones that get that because they know, hey, look, this guy already has 1 million people that follows him. You know, do you realize that the average cable TV show only gets 100,000 views, sometimes 80,000 views in one night, and that hits the Nielsen ratings? You know, a lot of the biggest shows get 2-3 million people watching the show, you know, but that's where they're rated to be. So if you already have 1 million people that you can tap into, right? You know, even for your album sales, if you're selling a single and you have 1 million people that you can tap into per se, and you're playing the percentages at 28%, you can figure out those numbers for yourself. You know, and that's what they'll leverage. That's exactly what they'll leverage. Real quick, what is okay? Social media, right? I'm trying to phrase this question politically correct. Even though we're on a podcast and be like, oh, you can say anything you want. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? There still has to be some respectability here. So one thing is, what's the one thing you think that your your community and followers on TikTok don't know about you, or something that you wouldn't reveal to them? Or maybe not reveal to us. You can be like, hey, look, George, that's a great question. I don't want to say it, but just one thing you think.
Honestly, I have no idea because like I'm an open book about my life. I have no reason. A lot of my followers know I'm transparent. They can ask me anything, but I don't think there's anything I can think of the top of my head that like I don't want them to know. Like they can ask me any question and I'm going to be honest with them. So I can't think of anything right now.
See, that's because you're young. I'm a little
Yeah.
bit older than you. I'm a little bit more reserved when it comes to that. Like, hey, are you asking me that? Hey, why you want to know about that? I give you a big generic answer, but I can't give them all this other stuff.
Yeah.
We know where you live. Hey, I'm your biggest fan. Oh man.
Hey, Jay. I got one for you. Like, you have somebody probably asks you a question all the time. What is your favorite phrase that you live by? Your motto you live by?
Spread positive love because you never know what anybody's going through, and it's always easier to be nice. I say that every time before I get off a live, just to remind people, like, just be nice. You don't know what a smile can hide, because I've been through that. So just always be nice and just be loving and caring. And that's something I always say before I get off any live on any social media.
So you would say spread love. Say it again, please.
Spread positive love because you never know what anybody's going through, and it's always easier to be nice to people.
All right, because that was kind of what Ananiah was asking, question to your fans. So it's definitely good. I'm glad that you always have the wherewithal to be able to say that, because it's almost like church. When you sit there and you go to church and all the time, you don't know what that person you're sitting next to has been through. So just being able to be nice, have a smile, say, hey, brother and sister, I'm praying for you. That could mean a lot to somebody who's been beat up every day.
Exactly.
All right. You can't get off the show, man, without having us hear a little sample of something. You got a sample for us? Frazier can tell you. You can put the phone right up to it, man. Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. Let's see.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's see.
Good job, Judge.
Oh, he wasn't getting off. He wasn't getting off without a sample. You know what I mean? Hey, man, look. I'm a connoisseur. Let me hear it.
Oh man,
I'll play it actually.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what I wanted to play.
All right. This is a song called "Lost with You." That'll be out hopefully in December. I'll sing a little bit of it. So. Tell me what you want, baby, I can make it happen. We don't have to leave, baby, we can stay here. But we don't have to leave, baby, we can be here. 4 and 5 and 6 phone calls. I just let it ring when my heartbeat stalls. We don't have to leave, baby, we can stay here. But we don't have to leave, baby, we can be here. Can I get lost with you? Can I get lost with you? Every time I'm with you, yeah, is when I'm lost with you, yeah. Can I get lost with you? Can I get lost with you? Every time I'm with you, yeah, is when I'm lost with you, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you heard it first. Real talk, baby.
Real talk. That's right. Right. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that one.
Thank you.
We definitely appreciate it.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Any last words for us, Jalen?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It was super exciting. I like the trailers that you guys made too. I was sitting in my bed, I was like, whoa, what is that? And then I watched it, I was like, oh, that's cool. I like it. No, yeah, but thank you for having me. It was definitely really, really fun. And thank you to everyone who stopped in and watched. I really appreciate it. Is make sure that we spread positive love, because you never know what anybody's going through. So just always try to be a light for someone, even though they like you feel like you aren't anything to anybody. I promise you're something to somebody. So
That's right. And you
That
heard it here on Real Talk. Jalen,
that
we
is,
want to thank you.
and most people deal with tell them how to get to follow you.
That's
Your
right.
website. So make sure you know how to follow you, and make sure you keep all the new album coming out.
Yep. Yeah. So follow my Instagram at I'm_Jalen4. My TikTok is Jalen Howard 10. And my song artist name under any music platform is just Jalen Howard. So
Beautiful. Thank you for Real Talk, brother. You have a safe and happy
Appreciate you, brother.
holidays.
thank you. You too. You guys have a great one.
You're good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Much love.
Wow.
Oh man.
Oh man. That was nice. That was nice phrase. It's glad to see so many talented people, man, coming up and to have him go through what he's going through and be that beacon and that foundation, man, it's truly heartfelt. And to be so young and to be able to understand that for what it is, man, that just tells you that he has an old soul, and he's definitely going through something. So it's definitely all good.
Exactly.
Now, from that to this, do you know that Mike Tyson is fighting this weekend?
No, I just found out this weekend. I just found out today.
Yo, I forgot. Man, look, let me tell you something, man. I've been waiting for this for two reasons. Okay. For two reasons. One, I want to see what shape Mike comes back in. When you go through a lot of things in your life and a lot of transitions, that can tear you down emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes years to build that up. And I thought that Mike really was in a place, and following him and listening to some of the stuff that he did, where he had reconciled his past and he was really in a good place. And I always remember having the conversation that if Mike Tyson ever got into a good place, type of human being that he would be and he would be able to become. But I never really thought that he would come back to boxing because of everything that he had done and a lot of the scars that he had throughout his entire life come from boxing. Yes, boxing saved him from the streets of Brooklyn, this, that, and third. But boxing also took a lot from him too and kind of made him, a person that not too many people were fond of. Like, for instance, I told you that Mike Tyson was diagnosed slightly bipolar. So when they wanted him to be very vicious, they wouldn't give him his medicine before a fight. And then that's what turned out with a lot of the interviews that we saw him back in the day. So to have him come now and be in the right mind and focused, and being able to put on this exhibition fight, man, it's like almost I'm living my young adult ages now. I'm like, wow, Mike is back. He's back.
We need to say though, you know what they say? Sometimes to overcome that beast, you must get back in that ring with that beast. But this time with a different mindset. See, now Tyson fighting with a different mindset. He's not fighting that beast he was before. Now you get like the calm down version of Hulk. Now you got David Banner coming out, but can control the Hulk coming out. So now you fighting a fighter who can control the anger, channel the anger. And now if you look at him from back then, he almost the exact same way he was with the beast in him. So now imagine a little more calm, more relaxed. Like you say, now more mindset now is set to where he's at peace with himself. Now he's willing to overcome that once negativity, now trying to turn it to a positive thing. So you're trying to reverse that energy, So he won't be known as the boxer who's just brutal. The boxer is still brutal, but now more humble.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
I think it's going to be
it's gonna be a good fight now.
It's going to be a good fight. I know that this is an exhibition, but I still feel like this. Look, you have two older fighters that are coming back and putting on this exhibition. And when you think about exhibitions, normally you think about exhibitions where, it's just showing, it's just a promotional event. It's a hee ha ha, almost like, the All-Star game or the Pro Bowl games that they have where you let everybody shine. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is boxing. Okay.
Exactly.
And one thing I can tell you about just any type of striking art, whether it's kickboxing, boxing, if it's Muay Thai, whatever it is, MMA, whenever somebody gets touched the way that they don't like to get touched, all of a sudden it just changes from it being just, oh, let's everybody shine, to wait, hold on, I got to touch him back. And I
Exactly.
have a funny feeling. I have a funny feeling. I pray that it doesn't happen, but I have a funny feeling that somebody's going to catch feelings in this exhibition match,
Oh
and
yeah.
we're actually gonna see a fight, like
Oh
a
yeah.
fight, like not just oh, you got me, ha ha. Like
Exactly.
I feel like somebody might take a nap. Somebody might be slept. Man, look, I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, hey, I already seen Roy Jones work out, so I can't really elaborate on Roy Jones. I haven't seen him work out. I've seen him talk. So, and the moment now, if he's anything like the young Roy Jones that we know about,
Mm,
or he fought the Mayweathers and all of them, I mean, if he get over the come of the losses he made and come back with a different mindset of not being, oh, I gotta prove something to somebody, and just go out and be you,
right.
be yourself, come out and fight.
Hmm.
Think about it. Back then, the reason why he left because he felt some kind of way somehow, feelings, wrong feelings caught place, and you felt like you wasn't the greatest fighter you thought you was, but then because somebody beat you, it
Right.
happens. Even the best fighter lose. Muhammad Ali lost.
Right.
Joe Louis lost. I mean, some of the greatest fighters have a defeat under their belt. I mean, Mayweather one of the few people that were lucky enough not to have any losses, but I'm sure he would take it a little different than some people would. But
Right.
now both fighters come in to prove something to themselves. Really, I think the more fighters prove something to themselves, basically saying, "Look, battle back then, this is now. I'm a different player, different ball game. You touch me, I'm touching you back. I don't care what you say. If you say
Oh,
that
man.
tap might change the whole chemistry dynamics of that fight. You're gonna change it.
I know it is. I definitely know it is because you're dealing with two alpha males and two egos.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, and it it to me, from what I've seen of Mike Tyson's training and just the clips, I feel like he's gotten out of his own way. The level of maturity that he probably didn't have in the prime of his career, he has now.
exactly,
And so now, basically, when you're able to walk into a ring and you don't have anything to prove to anybody but yourself,
exactly.
it's a different ball game. I mean, you're probably gonna see a guy walk in the ring with so little pressure that you're gonna be like, "Holy smokes, is his heart beating?" You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Because he doesn't have anything. There's no anxiety. It's just love. And so just
Exactly.
imagine the power is the last thing to go. Everybody knows that. No matter who you are, the power is the last thing to go.
That is true.
But in this particular case, in the clips that I've seen, he still has the speed and the muscle memory. Like to me, okay, I'm 46 years old. I'm still fast, but I'm not fast as I was when I was 26 years old,
Exactly.
right? Compared to another 46 years old, I'm fast. But
Yeah.
you see what I mean? Not somebody younger. But from what I've seen, Mike still has that
You think?
pop that he had when he was young. And I'm
Exactly.
just like, hmm,
Exactly. Hmm. Like you
hmm.
said, what's that? Somebody said with muscle memory. Hey, if you ever seen the movie IP Man, with the last IP, the final chapter, and he was sick, and he remembers that his body couldn't take certain hits, certain things like it used to, but he was at peace. The whole thing, he was at peace. You notice the whole time he was at peace. And when he fought the last fight, he he expressed even more strength.
Hmm.
His strength even more. Remember, he was getting beat up fight after fight after fight. And now Mike Tyson going through the same scenario. He been through it. Roy Jones been through it. So both of them now going through a fight. Get out my way. Nobody, no promoters jumping up down my throat. No trainer trying to live their dream through me.
Hmm.
Being me. So I'm living my final fight or my final chapter into my life to break that barrier that will hold me back for all them years and restrain me from being the person I should have been, the
Right,
fighter should have been.
right.
This person now they're moving out of the way. So now you seeing what can be capable of. This means he's 50 years old and he looked the same way he did at 20 something. That's crazy. I mean, can you imagine?
To have that kind of muscle memory come back. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, when you have muscle memory, you have muscle memory. That's just like me. If I was competing again for regionals or nationals or anything like that, yes, it would take me months to get to where I was or even trying to get there. You're going to go through all the aches, all the pains, off of everything, but your body's still going to have that muscle memory. And once it gets there, And once your body acclimates and you get back to everything, where the timing is right, the strength is right, the touch is right, everything is right, then you're going to be able to compete, you know what I mean, and be able to compete effectively, and I just feel like he's just at a point now where he understands all that, Tyson, and I just feel like everything is right with him going into this exhibition. We don't know what Roy's going to come with. We may see Roy on something like back in his younger days where he would just do the things that made him Roy Jones Jr.
Exactly. And that right hand,
Yeah,
that hookers.
I have no doubt about it. I mean, look, if you just look at MMA, Fedor has been getting knocked out lately.
Oh,
You see what I mean? So yeah, so it's not impossible.
True.
I just have a funny feeling that
you right.
We're gonna see some fireworks this weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure you want to see no fireworks. The best part about anticipation is seeing what's gonna happen. Right. One fighter stayed quiet. One fighter just showed what he can do. He didn't talk. One fighter talked. One fighter showed. So you gotta feel like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Like nobody knows what he can do because Roy ain't showing no videotape about what he can do. He ain't
recently, yeah, you know that about it.
So you have it. So Roy said, "You know what? I see you." She's in the ring. That's what you're gonna see what my left gonna do or that right gonna do. One of them gonna say hi. Don't know which one first. One of them gonna say hi. I mean, it might be like Sugar Ray. When Sugar Ray came back with one fight, and we want to say in Sugar Ray, we know Sugar Ray. Right. It's a lot slower because he would throw 100 punches like with one punch. And I think he felt kind of different too. From going to. And people can see the punches coming at him. He see people react differently. So
yeah, but the thing that hurt me with Sugar Ray was the fact that he was fighting for money. If you remember, he had just gotten a divorce and this, that, and the third. Mike is not doing that. Mike has enough money that he was able to raise money, buy 200 acres, and he's making a cannabis resort. 200 acres with a cannabis resort. You can just go there and just be high for the whole everything that has to do with cannabis. That's what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, and to be able to raise that kind of money and put together that kind of resort that he has in place. First of all, it's going to be an international destination.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So the mindset is a little bit different.
Exactly.
When it comes to that. And he's not taking this exhibition because he needs money. You know? So it for me, it's more like a skill set thing now. Like he's coming back to prove to himself. Because I remember I saw real quick. I know we only have 2 minutes left. I saw one of his podcasts where they were like, Mike, so do you train this, that, there? And he was like, nah. He said, because if I start training again, that beast that was in me is going to come out, and I don't like that person. And then as sure as I'm sitting there talking to you, 4 months later, I see this clip of Mike Tyson. I'm like, wait, hold on, mine, the Twilight Zone? No, it's him. So what happened between that and the clip? Maybe it was a Deontay Wilder fight where he had offered some advice and somebody was like, yo, shut up, old man, or something, or whatever it was. But between that and that, Mike Tyson is back. And Mike Tyson is showing me things and showing me little phases that I'm seeing that I'm just like, he's going to be a handful to deal with.
Exactly.
For two reasons, really quick. Let me just tell you why. 2 reasons. One, when you're younger, you can't see a lot of things that other people can see because you're quick. You have the energy, and you have a lot of reflexes. But Mike Tyson now knows that he's susceptible to that jab, the same jab that Lennox Lewis hit him with, the same jab that gave him problems when he was fighting Holyfield. So I guarantee you he's made that adaptation in his game right now to be mindful of that jab and make the type of adjustments that he needs not to take that punishment.
That's true.
He's wiser now.
Exactly. Well, go back when you said that Lennox Lewis fight Tyson. He fought Tyson on the way down. He didn't fight the up Tyson. He fought Tyson with decreasing Tyson, the one who's going through issues at home, issues and already getting in trouble with Tyson. Had a lot of issues, social issues outside of boxing.
Oh, no, that was a money fight. It was a money fight, but he didn't fight the real Tyson. Lennox was not fighting the real Tyson. He didn't fight Tyson. No. He fought like the time he fought be able to fight like Hearns, all them fighters. He knocked out in the first 2 rounds. Then maybe had the first round fights. That Tyson was big difference. Right. He fought a Tyson probably on the meds a little bit, who probably a little humbled. He thought he was better. Come on now. He beat Tyson, but he couldn't fight George Foreman. You see what I'm saying? Right.
So my thing is, I wouldn't never. Don't take no away from Little Lewis. He was a good fighter at his time. But he ran for a lot of good fights too. So he ran for a lot of good fights. So I mean, he ran for old guy. He say, well, old, and picking that, talking about Muhammad Ali couldn't beat him, all these people. But yet you ran for a guy who was in the same era who came back to prove a point to you, to show you what he went through back then. You ran from it.
Right.
You know? So to me, certain fighters like that are not fighters mentality wise, because fighters don't run. There's no fighter who run for a fight. I don't care who it is. He can be bigger than me, too taller than me. I'm gonna fight you. Because you know what? I may lose, but guess what? I stood there. You know, I stood up to what I said I'm gonna do. We're gonna fight.
Right.
We're gonna fight.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at, I mean, compared to Anderson Silva and all the other fights, look at Joe Louis never walked for his fight. He lost a couple fights, but he fought late. Muhammad Ali never walked for a fight, you know? And I'm sure if you could take a lot of fighters right now, pick one fighter you think survive, a newly fighter now, then they go back then and fight. Who can survive?
No, you can't, because look, there's only 12 rounds in boxing. Those fighters fought 20 rounds. 20 rounds. Okay. Sometimes when the 20 rounds started being too much, they broke it down to 15. So Ali, when was fighting 15 rounds, easy. Okay.
Right.
These fighters can't fight. Go back now and fight 20 rounds. I mean, you're talking about guys like the Bronx Bomber, you know what I mean? Hitting these guys and things like that. You know what I mean? And Sonny Liston. I mean, Sonny Liston, I hate to say it, but Sonny Liston would chew George Foreman up in his prime. You know what I mean? Like just through the roof. You know, they just can't do it. It's just a different area of boxing and a different genre of boxing. You know, you're talking about guys like Marciano. Rocky Marciano used to throw 200-300 punches in a round. This guy, when he was training, he would throw over 1,000 punches a day in training. Why do you think when he walked away from boxing, he walked away? He never came back for an exhibition. He never did anything. He had worn his body out completely. You know, I even think I told you one time I was sparring with some students and I was inspired because I saw the Marciano little, you know what I mean, little clip or whatever it was. And I was like, you know, this sparring round, you know, 2 minutes, I'm going to try and throw 100, 200 punches. Man, look, I got to like 25 and I was like, that. And he was like, why you start kicking all of a sudden? I'm like, man, look, I can barely hold my shoulders up, let alone throw 200 punches. I mean, I was good at pat, pat, pat. And it was like, then I started getting touched a little bit, and they was like, why you gonna start kicking all of a sudden? Why are you jumping around so much? I was like, man, look, I am tired, son. I'm tired. Ain't no way I'm gonna throw 200 punches in 2 minutes. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Hey, what time? I ain't throw 100 punches and throw a couple of knees at you, kicks. I'm good. Like back in the day when I was trying to box, hey, you had to come at least 150 punches at least to survive in the ring. Just about one round back in the day.
Anyway, fans, that's our show. We want to thank Jay for being on our show and definitely wish him luck. Don't forget to check him out on social media. This will be our last show until Thanksgiving. So everybody have a good Thanksgiving, restful Thanksgiving, man. Enjoy the ones that you're with. Give thanks for the ones that aren't here at this particular time. And, you know, definitely be good. We got an excellent show coming on Friday, the 27th at 8 p.m. So check us out on Real Talk. Hey, this is George.
This is Frazier. Happy Thanksgiving.
This is Real Talk. Peace.